Hi, Aaron. You've been in Ireland now for a couple of days. How are you settling in here?
It's been good. I've enjoyed it. Everybody's been nice to me, and haven't been, at night I get to walk around a little bit, but for the most part, it's been just kind of sleeping, training, getting the weight down, and everything's good. Everybody's nice to me though.
Obviously, Pedro is he's not Irish, but he's an Irish trained fighter and somewhat of a hometown favorite here. Obviously, training out of Ireland. What's the approach been? I suppose I know you've a few teammates and people obviously who've fought here before. I know the big reception that he's going to get. Is that a part of your preparation? I suppose preparing for maybe being the underdog in terms of the crowd reception.
Yeah, I think I haven't ever done this in my career as far as in MMA. Of course, in wrestling, I've been all over the world and I've wrestled, but I think as a MMA fighter, it's good for my development because I'm sure in the future I'm going to be in people's backyards and fighting, and they always say that the Irish are some of the best fans in the world, and I want the opportunity to put on a show in front of them. So it's going to be good. I'm excited though, but it doesn't play any. I mean, I wrestled all over the world all my life, and the fans can't fight for him. His coaches can't fight for him, so it doesn't make a difference. Just him and I locked in there.
So you mentioned our development there, and you're almost a case study for development in mixed martial arts. Maybe being thrown to the wolves a little bit early, but then coming on and becoming one of the top fighters in the world over your last few fights. If you're like, let's say someone like a Bo Nickel now coming through, or other younger fighters coming through that are top prospects, like you are and obviously still are. What would your advice be to them? Like, would it be to take it slow? Would it be to go straight at it and from the very start and aim for the top at the very start? Or what would your advice be?
Yeah, my advice would be is to develop, and I mean, there's no rush to if everybody looks at John Jones and is always like, I want to be the youngest, I want to do this. I mean, but that's an exception. That's one guy, and you have to just take it. Your journey's different. I kind of made that mistake early on, was saying I want to be a champion early on, and but this game is evolving so much, and everybody's good. There's no rush. You'll be champion in due time when it's the right time for you. Like I said, just take your time, the right fights, and because it's a pain in the ass to get your confidence back. I mean, for me, I had to really dig deep, surround myself with good people, and come back because my confidence was shot for a long time, and it's coming back for sure.
Obviously, you had another bit of a setback then. Obviously, was a shoulder injury, so maybe something a little bit different. And then you had the performance last time. You said afterwards that maybe you weren't as happy with that performance as the ones in the past. Are you at kind of a stage now again where you have to bounce back again from maybe obviously the loss that wasn't a real loss, it was more of an injury loss, and then maybe a performance against someone who you maybe would have been expected to beat pretty easily, that obviously went to decision and all that. Do you feel like this is maybe the third chapter of your career?
Well, I think the last fight, the decision was what was the decision? 29, 27. I mean, it was a unanimous decision. So I I, I beat him up pretty good. It just was hard to get out of there. Um, but I'm not understanding your question. What is your question?
So like obviously you had the setback in the
Yeah.
with the injury, and like you had the
Yeah.
setbacks early in your career. Before the injury, you were in like a great win streak and you're improving in every fight. Do you feel like it set you back, or are you still on the same trajectory upwards?
I don't think it set me back at all. I mean, I came back. Look at my year that I had. I had surgery, and then 4 months later, I was back in the cage and fought a tough guy. I mean, he's never been stopped ever in his life. So, um, yeah, he was tough, but I think I did good. I fought him on a week's notice. That's very difficult to do, and I feel good. Everything's clicking. I'm where I'm supposed to be for sure.
So certain injuries like dislocations and stuff, often you hear people having a mental block sort of coming back.
Yeah.
Did you do anything specific to get over that, or?
Yeah, with all due respect, I don't really want to talk about the injury anymore. I mean, it's past it. My shoulder's strong. I just fought a couple of months ago, and God willing, it stays in. But if I have that in my mind, there is no mental block. I proved in my last fight that I do with my left hooks as much as I could, and landed some hard shots. So my shoulder's strong.
You just did it by winning, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And there's still a lot of hype on your name, of course. Like you're making up for lost time a little bit, a short amount of time. How do you not let that get to you, and you keep looking at every challenge one step at a time?
I don't know. I don't even know how to really answer that question. I think where I'm at in my career is perfect. I've accepted all challenges in my fighting career, and I'm one fight away from fighting for a title. I'm not going to put emotional value on that. I just have to just get through Pedro, and I think you guys are going to see a new Bellator champion very, very soon. But we all know what the task at hand is Saturday, and I got to go in there and put on a dominant performance.
Do you have your team look at places to go afterwards, since you're fighting abroad?
No, just I want to get this victory, go back and get back home, see my son, and ride my horse. That's all I'm really focused on. Honestly, I just want to miss my son, and I'll see him when I get home. But I want to go home with a victory, and it's always nice when you come home with a win.
Is there still a location you have on your bucket list that you want to fight at?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I like fighting. I want to go back to Madison Square Garden. That's where I want to go. I'm 0-2 there, and I want to redeem myself and get a victory in Madison Square Garden. That's on my bucket list. Yeah.
Rick?
Hi, Aaron. Rick Wright, Albuquerque Journal. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, good. Jackson Wink is spread kind of thin this weekend, at least geographically. You got Michelle and Dan Argueta fighting in Vegas, and you in Dublin. Who's over there with you? Who's cornering for you on Saturday?
The usual: Greg Jackson, Brandon Gibson, and Jordan Burkholder.
As you said before, you're not a stranger to jet lag and fighting internationally. Having Greg over there, who's cornered all over the world, does that help you at all?
Yeah, I mean, I love the coaches that I have in my corner. I've worked with Greg and Brandon for, I think we're going on 10 fights now, so it's the longest. It's a lot of fights we have under our belt, and I'm excited. I'm excited the team that I have here, and I'm comfortable. I'm healthy. Training camp went good, so Saturday night I'm looking forward to the fight, and it's my birthday, so I hope it's a great birthday on Saturday.
Happy birthday! Without giving anything away, of course, what do you see in Carvalho? What does he bring?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? I didn't hear you.
Without giving strategy away or anything like that, what do you see in Carvalho? What does he bring to the fight?
No, I don't. There's really no secret to my style. My style is going to come forward and look to break him. And he looks to do the same thing, but I feel like my pressure is going to be a little too much for him. My wrestling, my striking. I don't think he's ever, he faced Pitbull, who's a very strong puncher, but I think my punching is very dynamic. It comes from weird angles, and my punching to wrestling is the best in the world, I believe. So I think he's gonna have a rude awakening. But make no mistake, he's gonna have a strong arsenal that I'm sure he's gonna look to use. But we're ready for anything.
All right, thanks, Aaron.
Thanks.
Patrick?
Hey, Aaron. So it's your first time fighting in Europe in the MMA sense, but it's not your first time competing overseas. You competed all over Belarus, Russia, Ukraine, Spain, and France. Were there any old tricks you remembered or used to adjust to the time difference for Dublin?
For me, what works is when I got here at 10 a.m. On Tuesday, and I basically just stay up probably till 12, 1 in the morning, and then go to sleep. And then I kind of just do it that way. I don't take naps or anything like that. That usually seems to work for me. Stay up as long as I can and get adjusted to the time. But I've wrestled all over the world, and I've flown in 2 days before and wrestled in a different country in the World Championships, and always done very, very well. So I don't really pay too much attention about jet lag and stuff like that. A fight is a fight, and then whether I feel good or not, I got to go in there and win. That's not an option. So if I don't feel good on Saturday, then you know what? I don't care. I got to go in there and fight and make myself feel good. So I don't use that jet lag or anything like that as an excuse. It is what it is. Feel good on Saturday and fight.
And Mads Burnell said a couple hours ago that he would be interested in an interim title with Pitbull being out. Would you be interested in such an idea?
Who said that he would be interested in a interim title?
Mads Burnell.
I mean, of course, I want to fight the champion. I want to fight Patricio. That's who's the champion. And if that's not available, I believe that there should be an interim title because we don't want to hold this division up. There's too much talent here. And if I need to fight for the interim title and then Patricio gets healthy and then we fight for the title, I think that's ultimately what I would love. I'd love to share the cage with Pitbull, especially a legend like him. He's done great things in Bellator. And if there's one guy to beat in this organization, that's him. And I'm looking and I want to do it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you.